Township Board of Trustees, Tuesday, November 12th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, approval of meeting agenda.
I motion to approve the agenda for November 12th, 2024 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion.
Second.
There we go. I have a motion made by Treasurer Honnold, supported by Trustee Clifford. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Approval of minutes.
I motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of October 7th and the special meeting minutes of October 24th as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Honnold, supported by Trustee Gurley. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. All right, moving on to public announcements. Elected official recognition. So, Scott, it's been a wonderful 4 years. I know you served on the board of review before you came to the township board. And as a township, we would like to present you a little gift in recognition of your years of service.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor.
Now, I wouldn't be amiss if I didn't notice Ms. Honnold for 28 years, but the post office lost your gift.
Good.
Thank you, very nice. Thank you.
I have a public announcement. November 22nd is the community dinner between Lenox Township and New Haven at the New Haven High School in the cafeteria at 6:30 till 8. All you have to do is bring a canned good or paper products for the food pantry. We also do offer carryouts for people who are not comfortable staying or cannot stay. It's a real nice time and lots of good food and fellowship between the two communities.
Thank you. I do have one more. As this is our third year, Lenox Township is a drop-off site for Toys for Tots. The toy drive is running until December 12th. The boxes are located in our lobby and are accessible during normal business hours at any township meeting. All right, moving on to public comment.
I'm Linda Rassiel. My address is 25589 26 Mill Road. I voted no for the landfill or for the sand pit, and only because there was unanswered questions that I still had. And one of them is I called the township engineer and asked who chose the areas to be bored, and he said it was the company that did the boring. I forgot to ask him if he was present during the sample taking. So another question I had was, why were the sample sites just located only on a small part of the many acres available? Should it not have been spread around a bit more? The whole property is open and there are no barriers to infringe upon doing so. Can you see how people would be skeptical about how these areas were chosen? There was only 3, one in the water and 2 just outside of the water in that same little area, when there's acres that could have been chosen. Also, it's hard to believe that this current group before us as well as the other two administrations, have never asked for an increase in the 5 cents per cubic yard of removed material. When TJ first started, this was to last only 6 years. 18 years later, it's still going, and no increase has ever been negotiated that I'm aware of before renewing a contract. And why is that? Inflation, other things have gone up, but this has never been negotiated. This group has no problem voting in a 20% surcharge to all businesses for fire safety inspection, or voting to spend $1,200 for the last 2 years to light up a Christmas tree. The extra money collected from this 5 cents, which could be possibly more, could help cover the costs of these lights. Recently, I heard an interview with Denise Illich, the mother. Her mother had mentioned to her about OPM. It's other people's money. Is this an example of doing what is best for Lenox Township with what could be, I think, improved upon? Thank you.
Public comment? Going once?
I just wanted to confirm what I mentioned last meeting, that the two houses adjacent to the well definitely lost their water and that they definitely had to put, and the reason that you didn't record it for some reason is they didn't put totally new wells. They hired the well digger to redig the well and just make it deeper instead of 40 foot deep down to whatever, 90 foot deep or something like that. So Mrs. Boss and then Alex adjacent to her both lost their wells. And then I wanted to mention one other thing, I do agree too that never raising the amount for selling the sand was kind of an oversight, I think. And I also want to say that I believe that the lake that was approved is already bigger than the size that it was approved for, and we should have that checked. They only gave us a report of the depth, and I don't think they actually went out into the lake in a pond, like a boat or a paddle boat or anything to really check the depth of the water. I don't have much else to say. He's always taken pretty good care of everything as far as keeping it clean and watching over everything. But it was a 6-year permit, a 5-year permit as far as I know, and it's been extended year by year to 24 years. And at some point, you just have to stop digging and do the development that he said he was going to do.
Any further public comment? All right, moving on to the public hearing. Annual renewal request for mining permit, Taja Enterprises LLC, 19-06-03-100-002, 32680 32 Mile Road. I will take a motion to open the public hearing.
I motion to open the public hearing at 6:38.
Second.
I have a motion by trustee Clifford, seconded by trustee Gurley. May deputy clerk please call the roll.
Clifford,
Aye.
Gurley,
Aye.
Reader,
Aye.
Lawson. I'm sorry, Hunnell.
Aye.
My bad.
As the clerk is not here, will the deputy supervisor please read the public hearing notice?
I could do it, Anthony, if you want me to.
Mr. Clifford, if you would, please.
If you'd like to, go right ahead, Scott.
Notice, Lenox Township Public Hearing. Notice is hereby given that the Lenox Township Board of Trustees will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, November 12, 2024, at the Lenox Township Municipal Offices, 63775 Gratiot Avenue, Lenox, Michigan, 48050, beginning at 6:30 p.m. The purpose of this hearing is to receive public comments on the renewal of a special land use permit for Taja Enterprises LLC regarding their sand and gravel mining operation at 32680 32 Mile Road, lot number 19-06-03-100-002 on the south side of 32 Mile Road between Low Plank Road and Pashalk Road, consisting of 117 acres. Thank you.
All right, case summary, Mr. Safe.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good evening, Board. This is the annual renewal application by the applicant, TRP, for the renewal of the mining operation as presented to the Planning Commission a few months ago, and based on the presentation and discussion held back in October 28 meeting. There was a report presented to the Planning Commission members and the public. We tried to address every comment and every question, presented every report, got collected, and the recommendation from the Planning Commission presented to the board tonight for a renewal. We don't have objections to the Planning Commission recommendation, and we concur with their findings.
All right, thank you. Moving on to item C, public comment on the public hearing. Going once. All right, I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I make a motion we close the public hearing at 6:41 p.m.
Second.
I have a motion by Clifford, seconded by Trustee Gurley. May the Deputy Clerk please call the roll.
Clifford,
Aye.
Gurley,
Aye.
Hanel,
Aye.
Reader.
Aye. All right. Moving on to consent agenda. All items listed under this consent agenda are considered routine by the Township Board and will be enacted by one motion. According to established Township meeting rules, there will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of the board so requests, unless a member of the board or public so requests at or prior to the meeting, in which event the chair of the meeting may remove such items from the consent agenda for discussion and consideration under agenda item number 9 below. Approval of the consent agenda shall be by a majority roll call vote of those present and voting. Kathy, would you like to do the bills list? Since
I don't have it.
Oh. Just check your mailbox.
Oh. I don't check my mailbox every 10 minutes, sorry. Orders and bills in the amount of $606,067.56. You did it just because it was 666.
No, I did not. You can blame the clerk.
Okay. You want me to make a motion? I motion to approve the consent agenda and orders and bills in the amount of $666,067.56.
Second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Howell, supported by Trustee Clifford. May the Deputy Clerk please call the roll.
Hanel,
Aye.
Clifford,
Aye.
Reader,
Aye.
Gurley.
Aye.
All right, moving on to new business. Item A, annual renewal request for mining permit, Teja Enterprises LLC, 19-06-03-100-002, 32680 32 Mile Road.
I will make a motion to follow the Planning Commission's recommendation and approve the annual renewal for mining permit for TJ Enterprises LLC at 32680 32 Mile Road.
I second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Howell, supported by Trustee Clifford. May the Deputy Clerk please call the roll.
Hanel,
Aye.
Clifford,
Aye.
Reader,
Aye.
Gurley.
Nay.
All right, moving on to item B, Richmond Lenox EMS ambulance purchase proposal. Chief White.
Good evening. Tonight I come before you, this is something we've done every couple of years with regards to the jointly owned emergency medical service of Lenox Township. basically new ambulances have gone up to well over $300,000. We don't keep enough money sitting back to just, I've never believed in just keeping money sitting there that belongs to the taxpayers for no apparent reason. So what we do is borrow the money for these large capital purchases. As opposed to, and mentioning this for some of the folks that are here, as opposed to going and borrowing money from North Star, First State, or some of the other banking institutions in our community and paying them the interest, because the Township of Lenox does have a pretty good sized fund balance when it comes to the township, entered into an agreement that was approved a number of years ago by our legal counsel to actually have the township loan the ambulance authority the money and then pay the interest back to the township, so they actually benefit from the interest as opposed to us paying it to a bank or a third party. So we're simply asking that we do that again this year. The proposal provides the township about $46,000, a little over $46,000 in interest income over a 6-year period, and it provides for the early payoff of a 2021 ambulance that we currently have. So we keep about 3 ambulances on loan at any one time with the Township of Lenox. The timeline is, if the board approves this tonight, in early December, the township will be asked to provide the check to the EMS in the amount of $310,000, which is the cost of the new vehicle. The EMS would make the early payoff of the 2021 vehicle that we have, and then make the monthly payments to the township going forward. There is a security agreement and promissory note attached to this agreement. Again, they were developed by Mr. Addis, his firm, a few years back, and so we just used that same agreement time over time and just changed the amounts and the dates in that agreement. So we're asking for the board to consider that proposal tonight. We had noted this year in the budget when we went through the budget workshops. It's something we hadn't always done in years past, and the auditors asked us to do that going forward. The only change from what we had talked about a little bit at budget workshops and current is that we thought the ambulance wouldn't be here till third quarter fiscally, and it's going to be here in second quarter. Actually, some of those stuff is starting to come a little faster. We were waiting a long time for a number of these things. The ambulance will arrive, the new ambulance will arrive by mid-December. So with that, I think we're just asking the board to approve the loan agreement and authorize the supervisor and the clerk, whose signatures are required on the promissory note and security agreement for the vehicle.
I make a motion we approve the ambulance purchase proposal as proposed by Mr. White.
Second.
I have a motion by trustee Clifford, second by trustee Gurley. Would the deputy clerk please call the roll?
Clifford,
Aye.
Gurley,
Aye.
Hamel,
Aye.
Reader.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
All right, moving on to item C, rezoning request, Mila Nikic, 19-06-23-200-001, vacant Gratiot Avenue. Mr. Cassidy.
Good evening. The request before you is to rezone 14.95 acres of land. It's on the east side of Gratiot, south of 29 Mile Road. The applicant is requesting it be rezoned from agriculture to IR, industrial restricted, which is basically light industrial. He's requesting rezoning for the purpose of developing a trucking facility. If the rezoning is granted and approved, he'll have to come back for a site plan approval before the planning commission for a trucking facility. The property is adjacent to Pine Tree Acres, the landfill, which is an industrial type use, although it is zoned agriculture. The township over the last several years has rezoned several properties along Gratiot to industrial restricted, such as Motor City Electric, Semco, Rosales, and other marijuana facilities, grow facilities. And just late last year, the township approved a rezoning for a similar trucking facility just north on the other side of 29 on the east side of Gratiot. I recommended approval to the planning commission. They accepted the recommendation and they voted to recommend approval to the township board, and a vote was 6-1.
Thank you. If there's no discussion, the motion will be in order.
I motion to follow the recommendation of the planning commission and approve the rezoning request.
Second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Honnold, seconded by Trustee Clifford. May the Deputy Clerk please call the roll?
Hamel,
Aye.
Clifford,
Aye.
Gurley,
Aye.
Reader.
Aye. All right, moving on to item D. Lenox Township Library Snow Removal and Lawn Care Services. Mr. Trombley?
Yes, good evening. Once again, I received a request from the Lenox Township Library to provide services for grass cutting and snow removal for the year. You know, we've been doing this for quite a few years. One change to this, though, is the library has acquired the property adjacent to the existing property. So I have adjusted the yearly cost for grass and snow in this proposal. Be $2,700 for the year. So it'd be for this winter season as well as next grass season.
That property, Mr. Trombley, is that the house right behind it or the lot?
It'd be the one right next to it. You know, the library being on a point, so it's the one that's contiguous with their property.
They also purchased the lot right across the street, didn't they?
Yeah, they
Oh, I
have
can
not
mention
asked me to do anything with that lot, only the house.
Okay.
So, you know, it has the extensive amount of sidewalk as well as the driveway. And then this past summer, we've been taking care of the front as well as the backyard of that home, per the request.
All right, if there's no discussion, the motion will be in order.
I make a motion to approve the grass cutting services proposal at $2,700 per season, was recommended by Mr. Trombley.
Second.
I have a motion by Trustee Clifford, seconded by Treasurer Honnold. May the Deputy Clerk please call the roll?
Clifford,
Aye.
Hamel,
Aye.
Reader,
Aye.
Gurley.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to next item, item E, 2025 Assessing Change Notice Proposal. Mr. Grabo?
Good evening this morning, or this evening, Board. Just coming to you from our assessing department. This is a request to the Board of Trustees required mailing of the 2025 assessment change notices. Attached to the documents within your packet, you will find a quote for printing and mailing of the 2025 assessment change notices. Through KCI Communications, a total of $836.13, or excuse me, $836.16, with a total postage of $1,996.88, totaling out to $2,833.04. This is a quantity of 3,664 parcels. There is a parcel count subject to change once we get the official run from the assessment side. This evening, the proposals have been reviewed and recommending at KCI for the printing and mailing. There was several requests sent out. KCI Communications is the only one that responded to the assessment department for the printing and the postage. KCI also provides a searchable PDF file for the assessment change notices for the assessment department to access and print duplicates for residents who require additional copies. KCI has also verbally confirmed they would provide the same services last year with the searchable PDFs. Please note we are required to retain copies of the assessment change notices for a minimum 3 years. The items listed above are primary reasons for requesting the use of KCI for the printing and mailing the assessment change notices for the 2025 assessment year. Respectfully submitted, Christine Lucian, Lenox Township Assessor.
If there's no discussion, a motion will be in order.
And I will make a motion to follow the recommendation of the assessing department and have KCI Communications prepare and mail the 2025 assessing change notices at a cost of $2,833.04.
Second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Hall, supported by Trustee Clifford. May the deputy clerk please call the roll.
Hamel,
Aye.
Clifford,
Aye.
Reader,
Aye.
Gurley.
Aye.
All right, moving on to item F, 2025, assessing poverty exemption policy guidelines and application. Mr. Grant.
Good evening, board, public. Once again, this is a requirement by our assessing department for policy guidelines and application requirements. This evening, you'll find attached in your packet quite a lengthy document. I will not go through each and every piece of it. Anyone that wants a copy will be more than happy to receive one. It does show you the reduction calculations, a opportunity for applicant certification for the poverty exemption requirements. This is put together and applied to prior to the Board of Assessors being able to review it during the 2 times a year that we go through, December and March. With that, I'll bring it back to the board for any questions or comments.
I make a motion we adopt the 2025 assessing property exemption policy with guidelines and application as written.
Second.
I have a motion by Trustee Clifford, seconded by Treasurer Hall. May the deputy clerk please call the roll.
Clifford,
Aye.
Hamel,
Aye.
Gurley,
Aye.
Reader.
Aye. All right, moving on to item G, 2024 Parks and Recreation Holiday Light Trolley Trip Proposal. So this is our 3rd year of doing this. We did try to go out to other companies to see if they would be able to do this. Problem is, equipment availability is lacking across the board. This is the same price as last year, at $2,694.33. We would be charging Lenox Township and New Haven residents, if they wish to go and buy a ticket, $25 per. But I would also ask that 4 tickets be placed into the raffle for the community dinner.
I will motion to approve the Christmas tree trolley light tour at the cost of $2,694.33 as recommended by the Parks and Recreation Committee.
I'll support that. I have a motion by Treasurer Hall, seconded by the chair. May the deputy clerk please call the roll.
Hamel,
Aye.
Reader,
Aye.
Clifford,
Aye.
Gurley.
Aye.
All right, moving on to item H, Code Enforcement Officer Hire Proposal. Mr. Grabo.
Good evening, board. This evening, I'm coming forward from the supervisor's office via the building department. We are requesting this evening a temporary 90-day hiring for a code enforcement officer as we do an assessment and an evaluation. We were caught short with notice at the last minute of code enforcement resignation. At this point in time, with the recommendation of a interview review that was presented by the building department manager, the township treasurer, and myself, we are currently requesting the board the approval for 90 days with a review in February with a final determination by March for the opportunity to hire Eugene Boyd as our code enforcement officer for the 90 days. In your packet, you do find the prospective employee's resume and information. With that, any questions, comments, be entertaining to bring back at this point in time?
I'll make a motion to approve the hiring of Eugene Boyd as the code enforcement officer on a temporary 90-day basis at $17 per hour and to be revisited at the February 2025 meeting.
Second.
I have a motion by trustee Gurley, supported by treasurer Honnold. May the deputy clerk please call the roll.
Gurley,
Aye.
Hamel,
Aye.
Clifford,
Aye.
Reader.
Aye. All right, moving on to item I, Supervisor's Office Administrative Assistant Hire Proposal. Mr. Raybow?
This evening, coming to the board, the Supervisor's Office is requesting approval of the hiring of Mr. Taylor Angus to the position of Administrative Assistant to the Supervisor at a rate of $17 an hour. The position has remained vacant since early 2021, but the need for one has arisen in recent months due to an increasing workload for the Supervisor's Office, particularly during the summer months. Mr. Agnes, who was one of the interns during the summer months, has proven himself to be an extraordinary worker, a fantastic fit in the office, and an invaluable member to our team here at the Township Hall. He has gone above and beyond in his efforts and work, and it is because of those efforts that this is being brought forward to you. While Mr. Angus is currently a full-time college student, there will be only certain months he would be able to work with the supervisor's office and more than willing to accommodate the college schedule. With that, I'll bring it back to the board for any questions, comments, or discussion.
Personally, I would like to table this until early in the spring, when we know when Taylor will be available.
I don't have a problem that you're busy in the summer months, right?
Yeah, you can ask this one right here. I'm running up and down the halls with my hair on fire during May, June, even some part of July and August.
That's probably a decision we can make if it slows down now, because we're going into the holidays. We could probably wait.
Are you seconding that?
Is that a motion?
It was a suggestion.
Oh, I'll make the motion that we table this until the March meeting.
I second.
I have a motion by trustee Gurley, supported by trustee Clifford. May the deputy clerk please call the roll.
Gurley,
Aye.
Clifford,
Aye.
Hamel,
Aye.
Reader.
Aye. All right, item J, payroll system proposal, Mr. Graybow.
Good evening once again, board. This evening, we're coming to the board with a request for another 90-day basis, and let me explain this request. This is an assistant to the clerk's office, and I'm going to kind of postpone the word payroll. This motion is to request a approval for hiring. As of election day, we had an assistant that was hired as a temporary, long-term, put in an instant resignation and resign on the same day. We're asking, due to this person's work requirements and the shortage into the clerk's area, we're asking that the board consider approving a 90-day hiring for temporary basis, same as we did for the code enforcement officer at the rate of 17 per hour. And this person will be reassessed, reevaluated, the opportunity to then be revisited in February 2025. This person will be reporting to the clerk's office under that direction. The person we're recommending and requesting at this point in time is a person that has worked in our elections department in the past, does have some experience in that area, so that would be somewhat of an asset. The person we're requesting this evening is Mary Meduse from Richmond. That in your packet is the person's resume and background information. Any questions, feel free. Bring it back to the board for any questions or comments at this time. There is one thing I'd like to add to this. We have looked at this, and due to the changes that we're going to be doing in this motion, which we would make a secondary motion, I would request for the training of the clerk's department an extension of the current documentation, the current contract that we have with former clerk Luann Candell, to extend her through the end of the year to train the current clerk that will be coming on board November 20th. So this would be a separate motion compared to the assistant replacing. So we've actually lost 2 people in the clerk's office within a very short period of time. So I will bring that back to the board and ask for 2 separate motions, and I apologize. That is not written that way, but I would like to request it to be recommended and identified in that fashion.
Well, at this time, I'd like to make a motion to hire Mary Mattis as a payroll assistant on a temporary basis as the other person we hired tonight to be evaluated later.
A second.
I have a motion by trustee Clifford, seconded by trustee Gurley. May the deputy clerk please call the roll?
Clifford,
Aye.
Gurley,
Aye.
Reader,
Aye.
Honnold.
Aye.
Mr. Graybaum, as far as Luann Kendall, that is on an as-needed basis, correct? It's not like set hours.
That is correct, trustee Gurley. That would be to assist the new clerk in some of the payment operations, some of the items that are being moved over to that area. There will be a training requirement, and we are proud within the township of making sure that our bills are paid on time and our operations are kept within reason. Ms. Kendall will be at an as-needed basis, and once the new incoming clerk feels fit at the end of the year, if we need to, we can reassess that issue January board meeting. But it would be an as-needed basis, you are correct.
I'll make a motion to extend Luann Kendall's contract as needed until the end of the year with help in the clerk's office.
Second.
I have a motion by trustee Gurley, seconded by treasurer Honnold. May the deputy clerk...
This is to, what was, I didn't hear everything.
To assist in helping the training of the clerk as needed until the end of the year.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I have a motion by trustee Gurley, seconded by treasurer Honnold. May the deputy clerk please call the roll?
Gurley,
Aye.
Honnold,
Aye.
Reader,
Aye.
Clifford.
Aye.
All right, moving on to item K, township vehicle reassessment discussion. So this is regarding the Ford Escape that we had, that we replaced with the Ford Bronco. We've had many people inquire what we were doing with it and inquired into purchasing it. Personally, I would recommend that we put it out for a sealed bid in conjunction supervisor's office with the clerk's office.
We already have the Bronco.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe, what did we put under sealed bid, I think, before, and it was a tractor we had, didn't we, Mr. Trombley?
Yeah, also the pickup.
The pickup was under sealed bid also.
Yep.
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
All right, I'll make a motion that we put out a request for a sealed bid for the Ford Escape, for the sealed bids to be filed with the clerk's office and be opened in front of, oh my gosh. I'm dead. Okay, so I'll make a motion that we put the Township Escape out for a sealed bid and for the supervisors and the clerk's office to work in conjunction with it.
I'll
Any
second.
particular date this is gonna be due by?
I would say we give it until January, just for to get it
Bids to
out,
come in.
because we're
When
so
will that
far
be-
into
when will that be
November already.
posted?
It'll be posted as of tomorrow, at least on Facebook. And I'll make sure it's put out on the bulletin board outside.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by the chair, seconded by trustee Gurley. May the deputy clerk please call the roll.
Reader,
Aye.
Gurley,
Aye.
Honnold,
Aye.
Clifford.
Aye.
All right, moving on to item L, holiday office closure proposal. Madam Treasurer?
Okay, since tax bills have to be out by December 1st, and we have to put the hours on, I'm suggesting that we close at 5 o'clock on Thursday, December 19th, and reopen on Thursday, January 2nd, 2025. We have a Dropbox, and First State Bank also accepts payments. So,
Now, here's the question, are we paying our employees, forcing this closure on them?
yep,
I know we're paying them for the holidays, because we're required
it's
to
only
do
2
that.
days. It's only 2 extra days.
It would be 3.
Okay, 3. Fine. Right?
Yes. Because Christmas Eve is
Yeah.
on a Tuesday, Christmas is on a Wednesday, and New Year's Eve and New Year's Day fall in the same
Right.
pattern.
I'll make that motion.
I'll support that. I have a motion by Treasurer Honnold, supported by the chair. May the deputy clerk please call the roll.
Can I just ask something?
Go ahead.
January 2nd?
Yep.
Honnold,
Aye.
Reader,
Aye.
Gurley,
Aye.
Clifford.
Aye.
All right, moving on to item number 12, public comment. Going once, twice. All right, moving on to item 13, call from the board. Hearing none, we'll move on.
Wait, I'm sorry. I just want to thank Kathy for the last 8 years that she has served with me on the board. I've learned a lot, and we'll miss you, and same thing to you, Scott.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to adjournment.
I motion we adjourn at 7:13.
Second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Honnold, supported by Trustee Gurley. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, we are adjourned.